new dog?
She is a little angel.
Nice.
Sophie, on
Such
the
a
other hand,
cute
not so
doggy.
much. She's adorable.
Uh-huh.
She's so good. She's so cuddly, too.
Nice. I got to meet her.
Who's a good girl?
Uh-huh.
Wow, just like, what an incredible game.
Oh, yeah. Great game. I jumped up off the couch and was yelling.
Yeah, I know. I was freaking out. Nolly got scared. She was like, why are you yelling?
Yeah.
She was trying to take a little nap.
Mhm.
But that was crazy, just that whole sequence to finish up that game. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
closing out Marcus Smart making the right pass, just the ball movement to end the possession. Just like, that was
and not
absolutely
forcing that three that he could have taken to, like.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the craziest. Like, I thought that Kyrie shot was like almost like a dagger. It's like, wow, there was like 43 seconds left and they're up by
Yeah.
3. I was like, oh, that's gonna be tough to come back from.
Mhm.
Especially when you have two of the best like isolation basketball players in the game in Kyrie and KD.
Yeah.
And we were able to have an incredible defensive possession. Smart and Horford really stepped up on Kyrie. Tatum was able to close out on KD and force up a bad shot. That was just incredible. Like, what a first game. Like, I do hope all these games are competitive. Well, like, obviously the Celtics, I want them to win, but I would love to see 5 or 6 great games like this.
Yeah, seriously. I was sitting on the couch trying to like do some mental notes for this game, like what I was going to talk about, and the first thing that I was going to say was that was probably the worst officiated playoff game I've ever seen.
Oh, I think I share a stat from our page from the mainly Celtics page that in the first quarter there's more fouls called than made baskets.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, like that last, like if Tatum had missed that layup, they weren't going to call a foul on Kyrie there. Like, there was an obvious foul. I mean, he reached in, swiped at him to try to just deter him enough. But it like Nicholas Claxton is getting calls, and no Celtics players are. Like, that's
It seemed weird because it seemed like kind of random. Like, it seemed like they were calling charges on some things that were questionable, but then others that looked like pretty clear charges they weren't. Like, I just think that was a poor officiated game. Like, I don't think that was necessarily like, I didn't look at the numbers breaking it down like one side or not. It just seemed like there was a lot of bad foul calls, a lot of inconsistent foul calls.
and that's what I'm saying. One of the worst, not even playoff, one of the worst officiated games I've seen.
Yeah, I think they had the record for most fouls called in the first quarter, like this season. Sophie, they're fighting.
But I mean, overall, best game of his season so far. Al is a monster. It was great to see Bruce Brown scared to go to the paint too. Like,
yeah,
the entirety of that fourth quarter, Bruce Brown would catch the ball at the elbow and then dribble it back out to the 3-point line. Like, he was scared to see Al Horford.
I mean, like, that's the thing is like those guys aren't bad interior defenders. Like, I don't know why they're talking to them like we had we had a bunch of like 6'8", like skinny, like it wasn't like we had Montrezl Harrell there. I know Montrezl Harrell's not skinny, but Montrezl Harrell's no like interior presence.
Right.
We have Al Horford, who's been like an all defensive player, and you have Daniel Tice, who's like a decent, like that's what he's good at. He's good at rim protection. He's not really a good like perimeter player. He's not a good like manning up against bigger guys kind of guy. Like his best defensive skill is being able to like protect the rim pretty well because he's got some vertical. But yeah, I mean, it seems like the Celtics challenged a lot of shots. Obviously, they had foul troubles with the bigs early. Mm-hmm. Luckily, that didn't like come back to like bite us in the butt and like not be able to play certain guys down the stretch too much.
And we saw that from Brooklyn. Andre Drummond didn't play most of the second half.
Yeah, because he was at 4. He was at 4 in the second quarter, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's huge. Like I was really thinking of Al, and if we were gonna have our podcast before the series started, like I wasn't exactly sure when the dates were gonna line up, but Sophie's joining in. Mm-hmm. I thought Al obviously was the most important player in the series because of what he's gonna have to do, stepping up, rebounding wise. He's obviously never been a great rebounder, but against Andre Drummond, he's really gonna have to work. And I think he had 12. He had at least 12 tonight. I know at one point they pointed out he had 12, but he had a great game rebounding the basketball. He's going to have to do a lot because they don't have great interior guys. Like if they try and go small on him, he needs to be a guy that can take advantage of that. And against the bigger guys, he needs to be able to draw them out a little bit and be creative, be able to move on. Like they need to respect him enough shooting the ball so that they create those mismatches with the other guys.
Yeah, 100%. And Al stepped up. He dropped his nuts on the table today and played a big boy game of basketball.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
the entire team played really well, outside of like a little bit poor 3-point shooting, and that horrendous start to the fourth. It was.
Yeah, I was taking the little puppy out. What happened to start the fourth quarter?
They started like
I saw like it was a 12-2 run when I came back. I was like, what happened? They were up like 15 when I left.
Yeah, they started the fourth 0 for 8 shooting, and Brooklyn went on a 12-0 run to start. So it was just like it wasn't like bad shots. It was just the intensity and the aggressiveness towards the basket didn't it didn't account for like what it was, how the game had been playing before, how the first 3 quarters had gone. Just missed layups at the rim and last second shot clock shots. Like
that is the biggest thing I think I missed about Rob after watching this game. I felt like Al and Tice had so many like putback or tip in opportunities.
Yeah.
And like those are ones Rob shoots like 99% on. Like they like just far too many were getting missed. And it was just so frustrating because you knew if like Rob was the guy trying to put that back, he would slam it in like literally like 99% of the time.
Exactly, amongst 2 bodies too. Like,
yeah.
But great game. Next game Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it goes what, every other.
Every other. And then is there a travel day for when they had?
There's an extra day for travel day. I think is usually how the schedule works
right
for the first round. But no, just like that was incredible. I still can't believe how great of a game that was. I was super nervous. Like obviously Brooklyn went on a bunch of big runs. I thought this was going to be like a pretty monumental collapse. Like they had a 15-point lead and they blew it like in a blink of an eye in that fourth quarter stretch. But
you said it, like that Kyrie 3 with 45, 43 seconds left felt like a dagger. It felt
especially with how poor the offense had been all fourth quarter. Like I think we were 2 for 12 maybe at that point. On shooting in the fourth quarter, and like at that point you're like, well, they're cold and a guy just hit a 3 who's on fire. Like you figure he's gonna come down there and get something in the next possession. But that was a huge one to pull out.
I think just to wrap that thought up, I think even bigger than the fact that no, not that, but I mean, I think something that is missed in that is that Brooklyn's defense after that 3 was just horrendous. I mean, Jaylen Brown made one move and got to the basket.
He walked to the basket on Bruce Brown.
Right.
Yeah, but that was, and I mean that's kind of their calling card is just not playing much defense whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is huge. Do you have a series prediction? How many games do you think this is going?
6.
Yeah, I think Celtics in 6 sounds good. I think this is going to be a competitive series for sure. Like just every game, I think it's going to be kind of a dogfight.
Yeah, 100%. Like I would hope it's 5, but speaking of series predictions, do you have a bracket?
I don't have it right in front of me, but we can just go through. Like I know Miami's playing Atlanta. They had their first game today, right?
Yeah, this morning.
Yeah, and they were able to Miami rolled them pretty good. I think Miami's going to win that one pretty handily. That's either going to be in 4 or 5. I don't think Atlanta's a very good team. I think they went on quite a run just to make it in. I think John Collins, was he back this game or is he trying to come back?
I thought I saw something that he might have been playing today, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch once again. I got this little guy that's been taking up most of my time.
So I think Toronto. I mean, Miami's going to win that one, and I think that Philly's going to sort of steamroll Toronto. To tell you the truth,
I don't know. I think it's going to be Philly in 7. Like I think Toronto's going to bounce back and it's going to be competitive. I really like Toronto. I think they're gritty. I actually I take that back now because I just remembered they have I know Barnes is doubtful. I know Thad Young's doubtful. I know one more guy is doubtful.
Who was it? Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I saw 3 guys were doubtful for game 2, which isn't good. Like that's kind of their calling cards, being able to use a lot of those big bodies on Embiid. And if 2 of those big bodies are out, that really limits what they can do. And I think Embiid might just have a field day if that's the case.
Absolutely. I'm looking for the stat right now. Hold on.
Yeah. I think
The
Shams might have tweeted it. But yeah, I mean, those series, I think Philly, like, yeah, now that looking at that, I'd probably say Philly in 5.
Oh, Gary Trent was the last
Gary
one.
Trent. So yeah, I mean that's not a big body, but still, like having those 3 guys out, that's tough.
It's an 18-point game per
So
score.
I'd probably lean Philly in 5 or 6 there. The 4-5 matchup is the Bucks. No, that was the 4-5. 3-6 is Bucks Bulls. I think it's gonna be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That's if the Bucks want to play with their food a little bit, it'll be 5. But I'm not too worried about the Bulls. And I mean that was the matchup I was hoping for, that we just kind of walk into. But
no, I agree with you. And then in the West, we've got the Suns play tonight, correct? Suns play the Phillies tonight.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
I think that is going to go at least 6 games. I think that series is going to.
I think the Suns aren't going to mess around. I say probably 5. That one.
I don't know. The Pelicans are on a decent little run.
Yeah, they're gritty for sure, but I just think the Suns are just that good of a basketball team. Like, I think the Suns are gonna have a pretty easy road unless. I'm trying to think, like, I honestly think they probably have the easiest road to the championship of any team, just with how good they've been all year. I think they have all their guys are all healthy. I'm pretty sure. I just think that they're just a dominant team. They're just gonna kind of make their way. I think the Warriors might provide them some challenge, just because the Warriors have the experience making these playoff runs.
Yeah.
But I really like the Suns. I mean, Suns would be my pick out of the West right now for sure. So I think the Suns aren't going to mess around. I think they're going to try and win the series in 4 or 5 games and get ready for round 2.
Okay. I think New Orleans wins the game, or I think New Orleans wins 2 games.
I don't know. I would like to see. Obviously, there isn't much data on it right now, but I think going forward, like, it might be tough going. Obviously, there aren't going to be very ideal matchups, the playing game matchups, anyways. Mm-hmm. But I think like winning those playing games and then having to go right into a 7-game series, especially some of the teams that had to win 2, like the Pelicans did.
Yeah.
Like, I think in a couple of years we're going to see like teams do significantly worse. Like, obviously 1/8s, they're not going to do very well anyways, but I don't know. I think it's really tough to play back-to-back games against 2 different teams and turn around and get ready to play a series against the number 1 team. Like, I just think that's a lot. Yeah, asking a lot of that team. But
no, it is. I mean, it'll be interesting to see in like 4 or 5 years how like play-in team records.
Just percentages like before and after.
Right. And then we've got the Grizzlies and the Wolves. When the
Wolves took game 1.
Took the game last night. Big game from.
I think Grizzlies in 7.
I think Grizzlies in 7 too. That's my pick.
But I think it's going to be a fun series. Like, I really like both those teams. I think both teams are on kind of the similar trajectory. They're both like some of the youngest teams in the league, I believe. Yeah. And they have a bunch of very exciting young players. I think it's going to be really fun to watch. I know last night Cat and Anthony Edwards balled out. So that's good to see those guys. Those guys are awesome to watch. So I think it'll be a fun competitive series. And we also have I think probably the most boring series at this point, just because Luka seems to be out, but the Mavs and the Jazz.
Yeah.
I was really getting ready for the Jazz to be like a just first round exit this year and then completely rebuild. But it's not looking like that's gonna be the case if Luka's out, because the Mavs offensively are really just Luka deep. Like, they've been a great defensive team this year, but offensively he still does so much for that team.
Yeah, it's hard to win a playoff series with Tim Hardaway and
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's tough. But
I think the Jazz win that in 5 or 6.
Yeah, especially if Luka's not able to play till like game like 4 or 5, like yeah, it's gonna be a wrap pretty much if he's not back for game 3 at the earliest. Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty much a wrap on that series. And then we have the Nuggets and the
Warriors. 3-6.
Nuggets and Warriors. Yeah, and the Warriors won game 1. I think the Warriors are gonna handily win that series. Like, Jokic just doesn't have any help.
No, He doesn't at
And the
all.
Warriors are good enough a team to take away one weapon, as good as that one weapon is.
Yeah.
Like Jokic balled out last night, it just didn't really matter.
Yeah, no,
like,
what? He had like 25, 15, and 5.
Yeah, something like that, and it was just like that. It wasn't even close. So I don't think Jokic gonna have enough support to win this.
I agree with you. So I'd say Warriors in 5 or 6.
Yeah, like I said, if we have finals predictions, I do think I'm really thinking it might be a Suns Celtics finals. I would pick the Suns over the Celtics right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics are able to make a run this year. I know it's obviously very homerism, but
same here. But that was my 2 weeks ago. My pick for the most exciting finals matchup was Suns Celtics. So
yeah, I think most fun would probably be a team like the Grizzlies, but I still would like to see the Suns. I think the Suns, they're just a really well-rounded team. Like they're a deep team. They're able to win in a variety of ways.
Yeah, they're the best team in basketball right now.
Yeah, I mean, and they've won with a lot of their guys being out a significant amount of time. So it's very tough. It's very tough to really pick them over, especially if all their guys are healthy. But Chris Paul also does have a history of getting injured in the playoffs, so that could wind up hurting them.
Absolutely. Do you want to do more into the bracket? Do you want to break that down?
Now I won't go too far in depth because then we're doing. Yeah. Then I got to remember because I don't have my bracket all written down.
Okay.
But maybe something we can dive into next when the shapes up even more.
I like that. Okay.
One more thing I want to mention about the Celtics Nets series is there's a potential we both have Rob Williams and Ben Simmons back for games like 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Which seems, 4 and however far it goes. Like that seems pretty crazy. Simmons has just now been cleared for 1-on-0 drills.
Sick.
Which seems very bold for him to be making a comeback in a week if hasn't really played any sort of competitive basketball all year long, like not even in a pickup situation, like a light scrimmage situation. Like,
and he's only been practicing with this team for what, 2 months?
Yeah, like he's never had a chance to play with this team, and like I think that changes the dynamic of this team a lot more. Like, because if you're putting him on the court, unless you're putting him in at center and running a small ball lineup, like you're really taking away a lot of shooting because who you're taking away from is you're probably most likely subbing out either Seth Curry or Bruce Brown or Goran Dragic, and Dragic and Seth Curry are obviously plus shooters, and Bruce Brown, not known for being a great shooter, he did shoot 40% this year, albeit on like I think 1.5 attempts a game or something like that.
Still a decent.
Still better than like 0% on 0 attempts. Like you're still providing a lot of spacing, and no team's gonna respect him right now, like at all. And it just seems like trying to fit in chemistry wise. Obviously, I think he'd still help their defense no matter what. But I just think kind of figuring out where he fits in, if it's not in like a small ball center role, I really don't see it being super beneficial for the Nets team.
100%. I hope he comes in and takes the first shot he takes is a 3.
Yeah. And on the flip side, I do hope the Celtics can get like a 2-0, 3-0 series lead, and we can save Rob till he comes into the second round so he gets more time to come back. Like I do hope that we can get the series over quickly just so we can save Rob for the following round.
Agreed.
Yeah. And give Al some breaks, dude, because Al's gonna be worn out after this series.
Yeah, he is. Al's gonna be beat up.
Yeah.
If the officiating is like any like it is today, then everybody's gonna be beat up.
Yeah, it was weird because it felt like a very physical game, but it also felt like there was a lot of ticky-tack fouls. It was a very, very weird vibe to this game. So you want to do yours? I did say my teams. I might want to switch it up a little bit because I did feel bad. I left all the Raptors out, but I really don't know who I'd replace there. But I did do my teams last week.
Okay.
But we could kind of go around and talk about it.
I left the Raptors out too. It was my third team came down to Jaren Jackson and and Siakam.
Yeah, I want Siakam. I also want Van Vliet, and it's like,
no,
I don't think I could take. I don't think I could take Steph out. I don't think I take Trae Young out, CP3 out. So
yeah,
I guess it's gonna be Raptorless. I think if there's an All NBA fourth team, I think both those guys would be on it, which is tough.
And Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I think probably something like Jaylen Brown. I think I want not putting Jimmy Butler on this either. I think I want to put LeBron on there. That was a tough one. So I had it written down, but I realized I didn't have LeBron, and I scratched that one out.
I didn't have LeBron either.
No, so who didn't you have on it?
I didn't have LeBron or Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough because like the number one seed in the East, like how do I not have a single player on the All NBA team?
I put Bam on mine.
Oh, you put Bam as your third team center.
Second team, actually.
Oh wow, yeah, I might say fuck Rudy Gobert then and put Bam on there instead. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So my new third team would be CP3, Trae Young, DeMar, LeBron, and Bam. That'd be my All NBA third team.
All right, I have CP3, Trae, DeRozan, Jaren Jackson, and Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I've okay. So I'm not gonna disagree with any of those picks. The only ones we had different, right, were Jaren Jackson and LeBron.
And I had Karl Towns, and I over.
Yeah, so we just flip flopped our centers because I do have Cat on second team.
Okay.
I think Cat's just offensively has been incredible this year. I do think he's it really comes down to I think the games played and the impact he had on his team. They're both obviously incredible players, but I just
I could flip flop Bam and Towns too. I could put Towns on the second team.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I think he's been very deserving all year, and I just think it's been such a weird year. I think this year is much harder to evaluate than last year because like so many players had such huge fluctuations in games played.
Yeah,
because it seemed like everyone was in COVID protocol at some point in time, a significant amount of games plus injury. Like it was just a lot of craziness the last couple of years.
It's strange.
Then the rest of my second.
Go ahead.
And then the rest of my second team was Durant, Tatum, Steph, and Ja.
I have the same exact.
Okay, no arguments there. And then my first team, I'm guessing our first team is going to be the exact same too then if we have all the same second team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Booker, and Luka.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That was pretty much chalk.
What a great segment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's some arguments I had. Like I really had a tough time like with those last couple spots. Like I said, like I feel like Gobert was probably deserving of an All NBA spot. I feel like Jimmy Butler is deserving of an All NBA spot. I think Siakam, Van Vliet were all deserving. I think Jaylen Brown was honestly the odd man looking at in out of those names I just mentioned. But incredible player nonetheless. So did you want to do your awards? Did you have your awards ready too, or did you want to save that for later?
Awards for our team?
No, like awards, like NBA awards.
Oh, you wanna pick them? I don't have it prepared.
Yeah, you're good. We can save it for next week because I already did mine. We can wait till hopefully Nolan gets on, and then we can do all of ours together.
I can do mine right now. I got them.
You got them all picked out?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start from the bottom. We'll start with probably the least important coach of the year.
Coach of the year, Monty Williams.
Yeah, that's what I had as well. Sixth man of the year.
Now this one's a little tough because I really like Jordan Clarkson, but the Jazz didn't. They fell to what, the 4 seed?
Yeah, I think so, 4 or 5.
I mean, who was yours?
I had Tyler Hero. I just think he's the best scorer on that team, probably arguably the best offensive player on that team, and he did pretty much all of it from the bench this year. He was their leading scorer from the bench. Like I just think that's something you don't see every day, and it was on the number 1 seed in the East. I think it was pretty cut and dry. I think Jordan Poole is really the other one I was looking at, but It seemed pretty clear cut that Tyler Hero was easily the sixth man of the year for me.
All right, I'll take that too.
Rookie of the year. This one could be interesting because a lot of varying cases. I think it's down to 3 people. We mentioned Cade, Barnes, and Mobley.
Yeah.
Who did you want going with?
Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I went with Mobley too.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned last week it's based on his impact, like as a team. Like he has decent counting stats, but he's makes such an impact on winning basketball and one of the better defenses. Last but not least, MVP.
There's one more, isn't there?
Depoy. Oh, I had Depoy at the bottom. Yeah, Depoy.
Marcus Smart.
I think Depoy is pretty obvious.
Yeah. We're
both going Marcus Smart. Showed it again today, matching up various times, playing the role of rim protector. He was doing it all.
Yeah.
An MVP, I had Jokic. Did you have Embiid or Jokic, or did you?
I think it should be Jokic, but I think it's going to be Embiid.
Yeah, I think a lot of the votes had come out, but I felt like I saw that it was Jokic. I think
Yeah.
because a lot of the writers have been like releasing their ballots. I think like some third parties have been accumulating like those release ballots, and based on like what has been released, I think they said Jokic is winning MVP. I also think those same ballots said Marcus Smart was winning Depoy, so that'd be pretty cool. I'd be okay with both of those.
And the GOAT Doris Burke came out and said she voted for Marcus Smart, so that's a wrap.
Yeah. No, I'd be okay with like even Embiid winning. Like I think it would be like I think he's been very deserving. I think he has a similar case like with him and Jokic. Like they both are doing a lot of like incredible things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was the first center to win the scoring title since Shaq. He was on a team. He had I think more help than Jokic, but he still didn't have like a ton of help for most of the year. He was playing without Ben Simmons, and then when Harden came, Harden really wasn't the same Harden I think people expect him to be once he got there. Right. He was hot for like the first 2 weeks and really cooled off. But I think at the end of the day, I do side with Jokic.
I think Jokic is the most valuable player in the NBA. But if you look at if you take the eye test, I think Embiid wins that because if you just look what was that stretch he went on of like 15 games with 30 and 10 or 25 and 10, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't hear about that one, but I mean, both of them are they put up crazy stat lines. Yeah, Embiid's more likely you're gonna see like the crazy 40 points, 20 board games, and then Jokic you're gonna see like 25, 15, and 15 or something crazy like that. Like
they're equally as crazy.
Yeah, they're both incredibly unique players. They're both even like pretty high level defenders. Honestly, like I think Jokic is above average defender at this point. I think Embiid's a guy that's made all defensive teams in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're doing a lot for their team.
Yeah,
like they're very valuable as one might say.
Yeah, top. They're definitely. There's no one else. I know. I hear Giannis in this conversation just because of how the main argument for that though was the fact that the Bucks they're like the third seed. Based on that argument, Jason Tatum should be in that conversation too.
And obviously Giannis put up like 29 points a game. Like Giannis is doing his thing, but I don't know. I feel like they slid a little bit this year, like record wise, and I think it's really hard to win 3 MVPs.
Yeah, and like you said the last time we talked, voter fatigue. When we talked about Rudy Gobert winning Defensive Player of the Year. Voter fatigue is going to come in. They're not going to vote the same guy in, especially if there are other guys close to the same production, the same value.
Yeah, but that's. Do you have any more NBA? I can't think of any NBA news that I heard of this week.
No. Did you point out last week the fact that I called the Celtics being the 2 seed?
No, I didn't. I was just gonna sweep that under the rug. But good job, bravo to you.
Yeah. You guys didn't think that was very smart.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought it was a little bit. It was very bold. Yeah. I think pretty much everything had to happen the way it did, and it just I mean, I guess that's how things usually happen. But it was just like a lot of things had to fall in line with like the Bulls just like forgetting how to play basketball. That was huge.
Yeah.
The Cavs continue and just get all their good players injured.
Yeah.
I must have a tweet that's going off. My alarms are going off or something, dude. Something's going crazy. I'm
not getting anything.
Yeah, you're not as popular as me. But no, just incredible win. Like going back on it, good week. The playing games were pretty fun for the most part, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's good to see. I'm glad that our team's not in it this year.
100%.
A lot less stressful. Baseball, Sox have gotten off to a pretty mediocre start, haven't they?
Sox are 5-1 over their last 6.
Okay.
Over the last 18 innings pitched, the pitching staff has given up 1 run.
They get swept in their opening series, didn't they? Or did they win one?
They won the last game. They lost the first 2.
And they lost the first of the Tiger series, right?
Yeah.
Okay, word. Okay. So they're doing pretty decent start. Yeah. I need to start watching more games. I should be able to now. I have this whole week off, so I should be free to be able to watch a lot of sports.
Oh, is it April break?
Yeah, it's April break. Pretty sweet. I just get to spend it with her every single day.
Nice.
And her.
What a lovely time.
Yeah.
My mom had COVID this week, so she got a 2-week vacation.
That's kind of sick time to get it, honestly, if you were to get it.
I know. She was like, "It sucks and I feel terrible," but to not have to worry about going into work for like 15 days, pretty sweet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, NFL drafts coming up.
Yep.
Oh, they're adorable. Look at them. They're cuddling. Oh my god.
Look at This is the dog episode. Marcus
big
Smart
dogs.
and the dogs.
No, yeah, sorry, I'm distracted now. I can't think. But yeah, NFL drafts coming up as well. What is that coming up in 2 weeks?
It's the 24th, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We probably won't talk about as much as last year. Last year the Celtics were out, so
yeah.
We'll I'll do some of my research. I usually don't pay attention to any of the prospects till like the week of, so I'll start doing my research.
Are you taking Breece Hall 101 in Dynasty?
I think so. That's who everyone's telling me is the best player, but I have no idea.
It's either him or well, it depends on where those wide receivers go. If Treylon Burks or Garrett Wilson go to Green Bay, Kansas City, or I don't know, maybe who else could, like Dallas, maybe even. If one of those teams takes one of the first, like a big name guys, then there would be decent. But no, you can't knock a 22-year-old running back.
Yeah, he'll be good for a couple of years, and they'll wash out like every running back does nowadays.
I'll give you J.K. Dobbins for 101.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'd rather have one that doesn't have so many miles on the tires.
He's 23.
Exactly, dude.
You're gonna get a 22-year-old.
I know, they age quickly. It's like 7 years in running back years.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. We're probably missing something because I feel like something happened this week that. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I said that last week too. If you haven't watched it already, it should be out and about. But everything, everywhere, all the time is a must-see movie.
Okay, I'm gonna go and re-listen to the podcast and get your breakdown of it.
It's really good. Like I said, my big line was at one point, like I was at the point where I almost cried of laughter, and another point where like I almost cried because it was such like a sentimental, like deep moment.
Really?
Like there's points throughout that were like both hilarious and both like really like touching. Mm-hmm. As well as someone does get beaten to death with giant dildos. So like it's a wild movie.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. What's it on?
You got to go to the theaters right now.
Oh, okay. I might do that. Big theater guy.
Yeah, I love a good theater movie. But
did we talk about Batman?
Have we talked about it?
Yeah.
I said I was a big fan. I watched it when it came out.
I watched it twice. Yeah, I think we did talk about it.
Yeah, but Multiverse of Madness coming up on May 6th. That's the next probably one I'm going to in theaters.
Did you watch Morbius?
No.
Yeah, I heard it was terrible.
I don't watch like the fake Marvel movies.
Okay.
The Sony productions, they're always just awful.
Yeah, I love all the Twitter memes about Jared Leto.
I hate Jared Leto, dude.
He's like looking for the next role to just be in the worst movie ever made.
Yeah, no, he's like actively, and he always like tries to do these really weird, like he always tries to be cast as a weirdo so he can just act like a weirdo and say he's method acting.
Right.
But
he's just a weirdo.
He is a weirdo. But okay. Well, that was a good pod. Got 34 minutes in. Hopefully back next week. We'll probably be at what, game 5 by then?
Ish, yeah.
Probably right around there. So we'll have a pretty clear picture of what the series about the series and a bunch of the other series around the league that we can talk about.
Hopefully we're popping champagne.
Yeah, hopefully we're moving on to the second round.
Yep.
But, okay, until then, see you, pal.
Then, buddy. See ya.